I want to discuss with you something today from the novel Jurassic Park. And I think I'm going to be able to find a way to relate it to the Christian life. So, without further ado, I will run that intro and we'll get started. I have been reading the novel Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, and growing up I loved the Jurassic Park movies. And you know, it's interesting, I was reading in here, if you read Jurassic Park, you'll come across the character Ian Malcolm, and he's all about chaos theory, you know, and if you watch the movie he discusses chaos theory as well, but he discusses something that I thought was just fascinating. I mean, it just had such an obvious, like, Christian connection to it. And, I mean, I think even, like, you know, Buddhists or Muslims or Hindus or, you know, anybody that's trying to be virtuous could apply it to their life too. But I like to apply it, and I want to apply it to the Christian life. So this is really cool. So he's talking about being a mathematician and all that stuff. And Ian Malcolm says, fractal geometry appears to describe real objects in the natural world. Mountains and clouds are fractal shapes, so fractals are probably related to reality somehow. Well, Mandelbrot, the fractals are associated with a man named Mandelbrot, found a remarkable thing with his geometric tools. He found that things looked almost identical at different scales. At different scales, Grant said? For example, Malcolm said, a big mountain seen from far away has a certain rugged mountain shape. If you get closer and examine a small peak of the big mountain, it will have the same mountain shape. In fact, you can go all the way down the scale to a tiny speck of rock seen under a microscope, and it will have the same basic fractal shape as the big mountain. I don't really see why this is worrying you, Grant said. He yawned. That would be me. Because math just doesn't click with me like that. It's a way of looking at things, Malcolm said. Mandelbrot found a sameness from the smallest to the largest. This is the key that I want you all to gather from this. And this sameness of scale also occurs for events. Events? Consider cotton prices, Malcolm says. There are good records of cotton prices going back more than 100 years. When you study fluctuations in cotton prices, you'll find that the graph of price fluctuations in the course of a day looks basically like the graph for a week, which looks basically like the graph for a year, or for 10 years. And that's how things are. A day is like a whole life. That's the key sentence. A day is like a whole life. You start out doing one thing, but end up doing something else. You plan to run an errand, but never get there. And at the end of your life, your whole existence has that same haphazard quality too. Your whole life has the same shape as a single day. Isn't that interesting? I was just thinking about that and I was like, wow. I bet there's a lot of truth in that, because, you know, if you start off the day and you're constantly getting distracted and you're constantly doing something else, that's probably how your life is going to look. If you start off loving horses, like my sister, you're probably going to end up loving horses. You know, if you love horses all day long and think about horses all day long and want to ride them all day long, you're probably going to want to do that all your life. So what I want you all to gather from this is that what you decide to do today, the decisions you make today, can be how the rest of your life plays out. If you decide today, first thing when you wake up, I'm going to pray, I'm going to seek the Lord, I'm going to seek His will. And then you go throughout the day and you endure just through one day. Just try it for one day, you know. And then at lunch, you make an attempt to read or to pray. And then as the day goes on, you know, mid-afternoon and then to dinner, you still keep that up. And then before bed, you pray and you think about God and you seek Him. If you do that for one day, then you can do it for another day. And then if you do it for another day, you can do it for a week, and then for a month. And you may think, well, you may get overwhelmed by thinking about your whole life, or even a decade or a year. But if you think about just a day, that's a lot more attainable. And it gives you the confidence to be able to seek the Lord every day. Your life has the same shape as a single day. So you can shape your single day, and then it can become a habit, and it can become your whole life. That can be positive and negative. You know, if you shape your day in a negative way, then your whole life can become negative. But if you shape your day, if you choose to shape your day in a positive way and live for the Lord, then your whole life can be shaped in a positive way, and it can be a life devoted to the Lord. That's all I got to share with you all today. Hope you all got something out of that. Jurassic Park is a really cool novel, and I just found it interesting that I was able to relate that to the Christian life, you know. Thank you all for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video, and God bless.